What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I am one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, a.k.a. the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. Guys, I have cat ears today. I need to immediately point it out.
I mean, we're kind of festive. Like, I shout out to Mad Cave Studios for this. Not really a werewolf, but I'm going to call it a werewolf.
It's a battle cat.
It's a
kind
battle
of the same
cat.
thing.
So I'm going to say that that's my contribution for this Halloween episode.
My contribution are these cat ears and this shirt.
I would say you tried a little harder than I did.
Thank you. I was gonna full send dress up, and then you were like not interested, and I was like, well, we dressed up last year, and then I realized last year you were out around this time because you were getting married, and me and Mia and Natasha.
Oh, all right. There you go. That's what it was.
Up.
So yeah, you got the cosplay duo, so it's gonna happen. Yeah, I get that. I totally understand that. I would have been down for it if, you know what, truthfully, I still haven't gauged the studio lights in here.
That's valid.
You know what I mean?
And we keep changing it around.
Right,
so,
yeah. So it was one of those things where it's just sort of like, okay, how much of a commitment do I want this? Johnny was like, you should wear the thing from the Costco. I was like, that is hot.
Yeah, that was like a whole like sweater vest.
Yeah, it was like a whole
vest,
thing.
But like sweater.
I made sure to kind of give
kimono.
myself like room to breathe, my underarms, like, you know, like very important. But yeah, cosplay, not easy. I will definitely point that out. It's a bunch of things that you have to take into account.
Now I just feel ridiculous.
That's incredible.
I love it. That's good though. I like it.
That's
I'm with
amazing.
it, Johnny.
Shout
out to Weird Al. Shout out to Weird Al, aka producer Johnny Rose. How's it going, Johnny?
It's good. Hey, everybody!
Wait, are you Weird Al or are you Sideshow Bob? Or Krusty the Clown?
No, that's Krusty. That's Krusty's like. Yeah.
Ashley got triggered. You can't make clown jokes around her.
I was at a Halloween party over the weekend with my boyfriend, and I got there and I walked in, and his mother was dressed as a clown. I was like, I can't talk to you right now.
Oh, God. Just brace for impact. Oh, man, I just realized we put an Avatar figure behind you, but you can't really see him because he's covered by Spider-Man. I was hoping he would be visible. I'll switch that out later. We'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, Monster Mash, a.k.a. Freddy Mash.
It's a graveyard smash.
How's it going? More importantly, how's Freddy doing?
Freddie lost.
Oh, okay.
Freddie
all right.
lost last week. It was Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
Jason won.
Oh, wow.
I know. Freddy got dethroned. So we're in our final. Like, we are picking our Monster Mash winner today. Currently, there is an hour left in voting, and it is Jason versus Pennywise.
Oh, come on. What?
Is not the outcome I foresaw.
No, what?
I know.
Oh, you know, that's got to be like people just were dead set on making Jason win.
Yeah.
And
it's a concentrated effort.
Not considering what would come after that. You're like, okay, so, wow. Interesting.
I know.
Pennywise? All right.
Yeah. I mean, Pennywise.
He's an alien thing. He's like a lot of stuff.
He got kind of the fortunate outcome of being up against a lot of the like lesser known monsters that Matt had suggested. So I think that was advantageous. Although he did manage to beat Frankenstein, which I think was inappropriate. I thought Frankenstein. I have a lot of Frankenstein feelings that I've touched on this show in the past. Frankenstein is scary. I think Frankenstein is so underrated because there have been so many iterations of it over the years, and young Frankenstein and all of that. If you read like the original Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, that is a monster you do not want to get caught in the crossfire.
No,
with.
you don't.
Not
That's absolutely true. Yeah. I mean, you got to get through like the multiple pages from letters from Geneva to his sister and all that other stuff. That stuff killed me. I was like, I knew that the book wasn't like the movies. I knew it was going in, but I was just like, oh my God, are you serious? This is really this different from the movie?
Yeah, and there's a lot of like weird romance with Dr. Frankenstein and Elizabeth. But I think it's worth mentioning that Frankenstein's monster literally murders Elizabeth.
Yes, that's true.
Like mercilessly, doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
That is not a monster you want to be mixed up with.
No, that's fair. It's definitely less sympathetic of a creature in the book for sure.
Now, Ashton, quick question. We had someone commenting on social media that was actually asking which Jason and which Pennywise.
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't answer because I don't want to be responsible for that.
No, okay, I mean,
like
that's fair.
obviously the original Jason, right? Like that's always what I think of.
I mean, there's really been one consistent Jason.
Yes, that's fair.
I mean, I know they did one remake.
Did they relaunched it around the same time they relaunched Freddy?
Right, yeah.
But
I
so
mean,
not Jason in space, I think is an important.
that's still Jason, really.
the same
It's still
Jason,
the original
yeah,
Jason. Somehow,
I guess.
some way, that's still the original Jason. So I'm gonna say just go with the original Jason. That's me.
Yeah.
And as far as Pennywise, there's only been two interpretations, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever.
Either way, I'm not okay
Well,
with it because
three, I guess, if
he's
you
a
wanna count the
clown.
book,
So
yeah.
like,
you're just like I don't even have
Decline.
I don't have a stance on this at all.
I would like to limit the amount of time I spend discussing clowns.
That's fair. Let me ask you this. I guess, well, I'm going to say he's a monster. Where would Sandman fit in the Monster Mash?
Is he a monster? I guess he could be. He makes
could be, right?
nightmares.
Yeah.
Yo, I just feel like I'm starting to think Sandman might be a little OP. Like
I think, yes. Sandman's definitely
I've
okay.
been reading the comics. I think I need to say this.
yeah.
I started reading the comics over the weekend. I'm obsessed. Like I literally I spent
Good.
2 or 3 hours just reading last night. So I was like, I need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Sandman is kind of OP. Even when he's weak, he's still super strong. Like
Yeah,
as soon as he
yeah.
gets out of being
That little
captured,
bottle or whatever.
yeah, after he gets out of his bottle, after he's done being a genie in a bottle, he proceeds to spend like 2 or 3 issues talking about how weak he is. Meanwhile, like fighting demons in hell and like recapturing his sanity, like doing all of these things that would require him to be powerful, and he's allegedly not, and still able to accomplish that. Also doesn't care at all. Does not give a crap about anybody. He is just a man on a mission.
He's a man on a mission. Okay, I respect that. Now, I saw you posting on TikTok. I was like, oh, someone's really into this. Okay.
I was so into it. I started reading it on Saturday and was like, oh, I'll check this out. And I read the first issue and I was like, hold on. Then on Sunday, I had some time. I started over, reread the first issue, and was like, this is bomb. Like,
I know I said this before. I read the first trade, and the only reason I didn't continue it is because I was working at the comic shop.
Right.
So there's just so much stuff to read.
Yeah.
And that kind of got pushed down the list. But it is a really good opening arc.
insanely.
Like it is. Like I can't fake on that. So I'm glad you're into that because
I felt kind of like, I want to say dumb, but that's not quite what I mean. Like, I started reading it and I was like, yo, I've been missing out. Like, it's honestly one of those things where I started reading it and I was like, okay, I get it.
I love that, right? Yeah, where you're like, oh, I totally get this.
Yeah.
Now. Right, yeah. I understand that. I respect that. No, I'm glad you're into it because I kind of felt like you would be the target demo for it.
Yes.
But I wasn't sure. You know what
I totally
mean?
am.
So you totally are. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Oh, you know what? Before we even move on to new comics this week, there is something new this week that is in the comics category.
Ooh. Oh,
New previous
my
catalog.
God.
Let's Get Dangerous. Look at that.
I forgot he was on the cover.
So Darkwing Duck from Dynamite is on the November previews catalog. These are items available to order for January. So you pre-order them at your local comic shop, and they will arrive in January. Sometimes the toys are a little bit further down the line, or very further down the line, depending on the shipping situation. But you know, just to keep that in mind. Also, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness half-scale bust from
thing's
Diamond
sweet.
Select Toys. That is very nice. That's a great Benedict.
That looks exactly like Benedict
That's
Cumberbatch.
a great Benedict Cumberbatch, and his hair looks better on that than it did in the movie. So there you go.
Gonna have to
next
agree.
week we'll probably share. I figure we'll share some of what we're getting this month from the catalog. You know, just let people like, oh, we're looking at this stuff from the November catalog. I think this is pretty cool. Also, there definitely will be a Gems of the Month video. So we'll definitely kind of
all
give
the
you some
heavy
more
hitters.
highlights, of all the heavy hitters as well. Of course, you can look at the local. You can go to your local comic shop and then pick up a copy of the previous catalog. But you can also go to preesworld.com/catalog and check out everything that's available in the catalog for the month of November. Also, if you want to pre-order, preesworld.com/pullbox. Very important, and that's not for everybody. Some of you guys, I know some shops do everything different, right?
Right.
Some shops, you just call them, tell them you want. Some people fill out the little form in the front of the catalog and then submit it and tell them what you want that way. Or you can use preesworld.com/pullbox if your store is participating in Pullbox. So definitely check that out. All right, let's jump into this week's picks. Ashton knows what's coming, so I feel like this week is actually pretty, I don't know.
You know what's funny? I picked my pick and I was like, oh, this cover's kind of like sexy, kind of risque. Like, I don't know about all this. And just as I'm about to send it, here comes Troy with his pick.
And here comes my pick, and my pick's all the way in. Ashton was like full send. All right, I'm going to try to explain my pick this week, so let's do this. New release Wednesday. Here are our picks for this week. I tried to sugarcoat this as much as possible. Okay, so actually, let me explain myself up front. All right. My pick this week is Lovesick from Image Comics. Let me throw that out there.
Let's look at the cover.
Let's look at the cover.
That's an important part.
And there's multiple covers for this, and they don't get any better.
What am I looking at?
So, look, I'm going to call myself out,
Sexy
okay?
Porky Pig.
Oh, God. So, I'm going to call myself out here. Like, a couple months back, Anna Mia took me to task because of some book I picked from the, I can't remember the name, I think it was Hero something, I can't remember what it was. It was a manga from the creator of Prison School. So it's bad enough that I already did a whole video about how much I love Prison School, right? And Prison School is already pretty questionable. And then on top of that, the Raw Hero, that's what it was, from Dark Horse Comics. I picked that as well. This is not helping my case at all, but Lovesick
keep going.
Lovesick is from Image Comics. Do not profile me, okay? It got my attention more than any other new series this week, I gotta be honest. The description is salacious.
Oh, God.
That is the best way I could put
Let's
it.
hear it. Read it.
Long
word
story short.
for word.
No, I'm gonna give the short version. It involves a dominatrix on the dark web,
yes.
right? And her on-camera antics go a little too far. Right?
Imagine that.
Imagine that. But here's the twist, right? A bunch of men's rights activist types try to hunt her down and punish her for her crime. So it's kind of a little bit ironic when you really think about punish the dominatrix, right? This is nuts. This is absolutely out there. But I mean, this is kind of why I like comics, because like I don't feel like anybody would do a TV show like this or a movie like this, right? But someone can do a comic book like this, and like I'm a little surprised it's from Image, to be honest. Like I would expect this from, I don't know, I don't even want to say Volt or somebody like that, but it's just a little bit more risque. Actually, now I think about it, this is kind of the plot to She-Hulk.
Is it?
I just thought about that. I mean, minus the whole dominatrix thing, right?
Okay, yeah, that's where you lost me.
The concept is she's like, she's become a figure in some way that's in the eyes of the public, and now all these men's rights activists are trying to like humiliate her and embarrass her publicly.
First of all, if you're a men's rights activist, I think that's pretty embarrassing.
I mean, that's also fair. Mind you, we're on YouTube, so we're probably surrounded by them on the left side.
I've offended everybody.
Depending on your watch list. But left field kind of surprises from Image, but it's from I'm gonna butcher her name. Luana Vecchio is the artist and writer. She's an Italian artist. I wrote Italian artists are dominating the industry right now. I didn't mean to do that. It just kind of
whoopsie.
Sorry. No pun intended. But I'm gonna pick this up from my local comic shop, and I'm gonna act like I'm getting it from one of my friends. Lovesick from Image Comics. It looked really interesting, so I was like, why the hell not? Also, Absolution is out this week. I've been picking that repeatedly for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you have.
Been on a Peter Milligan tear too. Cool cyberpunk reality TV show comic concept from AWA. Also, I want to mention this also caught my attention. The Black Man's Guide to Getting Pulled Over. So a few years ago, Guide 2 books were kind of like a thing that like comic artists and non-comic artists were doing like a lot as like a vessel for satire.
Yeah.
It was like a thing for a while there. This is very similar. It's from Johnny Parker and Felipe Horace. And I don't know, I'll invite a shrewd, humorous dissection of harsh realities. I'm into it. So check that out. That's also available this week from your local comic shop. Might be a little bit harder to find than Lovesick because it's from Microcosm Publishing, but ask your local comic shop to pull it for you. Ask them to reserve it for you from previews. Yes. Ashton, what is your pick this week?
Okay.
Join me in the salaciousness.
Yeah, okay, so my pick this week is Sarah Lone, #1. Got some sweet bloody murder going on. Some sexy bloody murder. Okay, so it centers on this young woman, Sarah Lone, who is forced to return home after her father is brutally murdered. She needs to take over the family business, but she's kind of, running from a dark past. And when she gets back home, obviously they're not thrilled to see her. She's not very welcomed. Everyone's kind of rude to her. But it doesn't really matter because she's not there for long before the police turn up at her door. She's accused of a murder that happened at the strip club she was working at before she came back home. Okay. And it seems like it's going to be kind of tried to be pinned on her. And so she's got the mafia on her tail, and she's trying to work with the police and the Secret Service to clear her name. Okay. It's very much giving Ozark vibes, which I have been super into recently. I'm sold on that. And I'll read it just for that reason. And the cover caught my eye. I have to say, I was like, what am I looking at?
That was a great figure drawing.
And the longer I looked at it, I was like, all right, we got stacks of money on the table. What are these bottles of? Why is it blocking the door?
And it tells the story. That's actually very true.
Right.
So this week's theme is sex workers on the run.
Literally.
Apparently that's the theme. That's the theme for this week's picks, guys.
I also have a side pick I wanted to point out. I have to plug Heartstopper and Alice Oseman. It is pretty much a requirement at this point.
Oh, it's a coloring book.
For coloring books out this week. It's repurposing all of the material from the first 4 volumes and the characters and some of like the fan favorite scenes, and expanding them out so that you can color them in, because it is published in black and white.
Okay.
So it'd be kind of cool to give it some color.
All right, cool. All right. There you go. You guys got like 4 picks. Sorry, I can't count today. 4 picks this week. Some things, some for the faint of heart, and some not for the faint of heart. There you go. So instead of giving you a rundown of other new releases available this week, I will remind you, you can go to preacherworld.com/new releases to see a full rundown of everything that's available at your local comic shop this week. But instead of doing our usual video, we're going to show you some items from Hakes 236. So this, of course, is running from November 15th through the 16th. And this is Hakes is basically a pop culture auction house. So here's a rundown of some of those items. When we come back, I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Hakes Auctions is the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles, and auction number 236 is now open for bidding. Here are some of the amazing items that you can find over at Hakes.com. Be sure to check out the full auction by visiting Hakes.com. Closing dates for items in auction 236 are November 15th and 16th. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house.
I don't think I really noted before how disco era Cyborg originally was until I saw it in toy form.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've probably seen that toy before, but it just kind of clicked in my head. I was like, that's definitely disco era Cyborg.
Very
and I think
metallic.
that's probably the era that he actually came up in. Actually.
I'm sure it is.
He was originated from. I actually prefer that look more, actually, now I think about it.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I want to point out, video games are now in the mix.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Caught
like
that.
some Contra there. There's a Xbox Halo edition of the original Xbox in there. Yeah, that's definitely something that they're doing now, and you're going to see more of that rolling forward. I saw Nintendo 64 GoldenEye, because yeah, I mean that's the new frontier for some of these for collectibles. Is the video games have been around for about, I want to say about 30, 40 years as I guess I want to say non-arcade, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
console
fair.
games,
That's fair.
right?
Yeah.
And so now they're becoming like very valuable and very something that people want to attain. So definitely check out Hakes 236. I screwed up earlier. I said that it was running from November 15th to 16th. That makes no sense. Don't listen to that.
Lies.
It ends November 15th through 16th. It's running right now. So, Johnny, was there anything that tickled your fancy that kind of stood out for you from the auction?
I haven't gotten a chance to look at it. I'm looking at it now. I'm seeing like a Nintendo 64 Super Smash Brothers video game, current bid at $10,000.
Woo.
For Nintendo 64?
Spicy.
Wow.
Let's see.
How much that Jawa going for?
Nash wasn't about the Jawa.
I want a Jawa.
I don't know why that's so funny. It was the way you said it. I want a Jawa. Anyway, sorry. Have you found the Jawa for Ashton, Johnny?
Yep. I'm kind of lining up other things here, so.
Okay, that's all right. That's fine. Go over to Hakes.com, check it out, like the video said. plenty of cool stuff. And like I said, now video games are in the mix. And go bid on a Jawa and send it to Ashton because she wants one.
Want that Jawa.
Let's get into some news. How about that?
I'm ready. Oh my God, I'm ready.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just remembered what the first news topic was.
I forgot what the first news topic was.
I didn't.
Oh, right. That's right. I do know what the first news. All right, let's do this. News time.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
It's going.
It's happening.
Something's.
Oh, me too. What did
I'm
I
showing the
hit?
shot. Okay.
What just happened?
What?
Where did the accordion come from?
Did you have an accordion
Did you
back
bring
there?
your own accordion?
I wish.
Oh, wow. That was very unexpected. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Johnny. That definitely caught us off guard. I was like, oh no, he played the wrong music. Nope. Absolutely
It's
not.
intentional.
All right, Ashton, what's going on in the news this week?
Archie is buff.
Okay.
Archie's ripped.
Off Archie. All right.
Okay, so Archie's taking on the world, real talk. Coming to comic shops January 18th is Archie versus the World #1. Blockbuster sci-fi special pits Archie and pals against a post-apocalyptic wasteland where only the strong survive. Before I go any further, just look at Archie's traps. That is insane.
That is ridiculous.
Like Archie's going Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Like,
He actually is. No, he does. Oh my God, he does look like a Dragon Ball character.
right?
That's nuts. I just realized that. You're so right. Wow.
All right, so writing by Aubrey Sitterson, art by Jed Doherty. All right, so Archie versus the World sees Archie face off against Reggie. Always Reggie.
Always Reggie.
Always beefing with Reggie. In a fight for control of a secret water source. Prized for its rarity in the devastated future setting. Gang uses souped up vehicles and weapons to eke out their existence, including a radically customized version of Archie's classic broken down jalopy.
That's great.
Archie's always got a busted car. I
He
caught
always
that
does.
when they relaunched it a few years back with Mark Waid. They like brought back the broke down car. Obviously, it wasn't a jalopy, but like he
Right.
still had like a beater for a car, which I thought was a nice nod. And there's redesigned Archie, new take, or not Archie, Josie, she's right here on the cover. So new takes on Josie. There's also a reimagined version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She'll show up too.
Okay.
Which, it's funny, I hadn't read the solicit text until right now. And we were talking when we looked at this yesterday. We were like, oh, this is giving like Mad Max
Oh,
vibes, like
100%.
very much. And then I was reading through the solicit and I was like, okay, all right, this is Mad Max.
Well, Johnny pointed out the Josie as the Doof Warrior from Mad Max Fury Road, which I
Yeah.
love. And yeah, totally Archie's. There's another shot of actually in our thumbnail. You'll see a better shot of Archie's costume. It's just straight up Mel Gibson Mad Max.
Yeah, oh, the leather one?
Yeah, the leather one.
Yeah.
The leather with the missing arm. Like that's just
Yeah.
straight up Mel Gibson Mad Max. Gotta say, yeah, this is. And like now I'm like, okay, so Reggie's like a Morton Joe's, like that's like keeping the water source. I'm all for this. I'm actually upset by how into this I am. But every time Archie flips the script on me, I'm like, I kind of want to read it.
Yo, they can't miss. They always are
They
trying to
can't,
do
yeah.
weird things, and you're like, huh, this is goofy. And then, but like, it ends up making perfect sense.
Making perfect sense. I mean, you already know one of my favorite Archie anythings of the last several years has been Archie versus Predator.
Yeah.
Like I loved that book, and like I did not expect to love it that much. So, yeah, give it a shot, guys. It actually might be very entertaining because when Archie goes off the reservation, it's actually pretty impressive.
It is.
What else we got?
Avengers. Got some Avengers news going on.
okay.
All right, so Jason Aaron will close out his Avengers Assemble run, which has lasted nearly 5 years, with a crossover between his two current Avengers titles, which is Avengers and Avengers Forever. The saga will officially kick off next month with Avengers Assemble Alpha #1. Aaron will be joined by superstar artist Brian Hitch, and it'll start a conflict between everything you can imagine. It'll be a grand battle that stretches from the dawn of time, when Earth was protected by the Avengers of 1 million BC, to the twilight of all reality and everything in between. I feel the need to point out the people at Marvel know how to write this stuff. That was catchy. All right, so at Infinity's end stands the Avengers Tower, and it's fallen under assault by the ultimate forces of evil, led by Mephisto, who Johnny loves. If you've been watching the show for a while, you know Johnny loves him some Mephisto.
Mephisto's his answer for everything.
Yeah. And so the Avengers have to fight back against Mephisto to save Avengers Tower and the fate of all of humanity, which I love that. It is a 5-part series. It'll be kicking off on November 30th. The first issue will hit comic shops November 30th. And then the 5th part, the wrap-up, will be coming in January 18th at your local comic book shop. How are you feeling about this? Have you been following the Avengers story?
I actually have not. Like we kind of mentioned this the other day when we were talking about some Marvel's big NYCC announcements. I started the book. I just read the first issue just out of curiosity, and it gave me like 90s comic book vibes. Like it was just sort of like, oh, these are all big ideas. It's just big art, like a lot of like just big splash pages by Ed McGuinness. I don't think he's still in the art on the book anymore, but this makes me kind of want to jump back in. And I always intended to backtrack. Right. Because I love the idea of the Avengers 1 million BC. Yeah. I just love that idea.
So smart.
I just love that concept as a concept. Like you have all these characters who have lineage in the Marvel universe who go back to the beginning of time, and I mean, it's all ones that make sense. It's like Odin and like where the Phoenix and
Black Panther
and Black Panthers,
Ghost Rider.
I'm trying to think of
Agamotto.
Bast. There you go. I couldn't think of Bast, who's the Panther god from Black Panther.
Okay.
Agamotto, right? Yeah, which is the gem that Doctor Strange holds.
Right.
Just like really cool stuff. But yeah, that's cool. I like that. I might actually just read. Also, Brian Hitch. I love Brian Hitch artwork. So, absolutely. Things also going around. Speaking of Marvel, Quantumania.
Yeah.
There was a trailer for that this week.
There was a trailer.
That actually I caught that at like the last minute. Like I kind of saw that like late yesterday. I was like, oh, this has been online for hours. This is actually hilarious. The Dunkin' Donuts reference is actually pretty great. It's cool. I'm interested in what's going on here. To an extent. I'm getting a little burned out, I gotta be honest. Which is surprising, I know, coming from me.
I know.
But I'm getting a little burned out. I don't know, did you have any, I was about to say, do you have any strong feelings about this one?
I don't. I actually haven't seen Ant-Man, so I have no reference point for it. I mean, like I said, with Marvel's copy that they write for their books, that's the same of their trailer. Like they know how to make something exciting. Yeah, they know how to sell. So I could be convinced to see it just because the trailer looked dope. I'd probably need to see the previous movies first in order to have any idea what's taking place. But
I will say, Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man surprised me.
Okay.
Like I wasn't sure what to expect going in, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, this might be fine or whatever. And it actually is very entertaining.
I've heard that.
Like
yeah,
it's a
lot of people have said that.
They have a lot of fun with the concept. Like I would imagine, you know what? The best way I could put it is, they basically took Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Okay.
And applied it to the Marvel universe.
All right, I'm with it.
And it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
The second one's okay, but they still have fun with all the shrinking stuff, which is kind of cool. And now they're going into the microverse, as it used to be called, the quantum realm now, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm curious. We'll see. Like I just, the last couple of Disney, Marvel Disney outings have made me kind of go, this is why I read the comics.
Yeah, they seem to not be landing the same way they used to.
There seems to be a general attitude. I won't say it's like a consensus, but there's definitely a general attitude of like, okay. I was kind of disappointed in She-Hulk. Johnny liked it.
Right.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I've seen people get divided on that. Like they say, some people liked, some people didn't.
You didn't like Thor.
I hated Thor. Like I can't even tell you how much I disliked Thor. I just was sitting there in the theater like, the whole time. Doctor Strange, I've kind of came back around on. Like,
okay.
It's okay. The first time I was like, what did we just do? But the second time I'm watching, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see what they were going for. There's some good ideas in here. So, and the Sam Raimi-ness really pays off. But anyway.
You have to say one thing though about these trailers is that they do a hell of a job with the editing and the music.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's hype.
I mean, the fact that they got like Elton John's Beyond the Yellow Brick Road.
Yes.
To like, and the way they added like this like synth pop, like electronic like sound to it.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, I mean, they've done the same thing. Like, it's no new thing where they've used popular songs in these trailers.
Oh no, it's definitely a thing.
But every time they do, I feel like it's an absolute win, and that alone makes me want to see the movie.
No, I did think that was impressive. Actually, the first time I really remember seeing that was Age of Ultron, because they did the I guess it was like the first real movie after Disney bought Marvel, and they used the No Strings on Me.
Yep, I've got No Strings on Me from Pinocchio.
Yeah, from Pinocchio. Yeah, which was actually really well done because of
okay,
Ultron,
yeah.
right? So, I mean, I'm going to see it. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to see it. I'm going
Right.
to see it eventually. I'm just not going to be rushing, I guess, at this point. Because I used to just be like, I got to get there the first week. And now I'm like, if it gets spoiled for me, it's fine. Like, I'll still watch it at some point in time.
And as a side note, I don't know if either of you have seen, but the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special
Yes.
trailer was released today, I believe. So
Oh, is it today?
it was released. Yep, I've already watched
Oh,
it.
it already came out.
If you haven't looked at it online, anyone watching, go check it out after you're done watching us.
There
So
you
wait,
go.
wait, the trailer's out or the...
The trailer.
Okay, the show's not out.
No.
Okay. I was
Will this
confused
be
by
as
that.
good as the Star Wars holiday special?
Oh, one can only hope.
You know, I did see the trailer, and just to make a point, Ashton, that I don't do this to Star Wars. I do this to everything. I don't like the way it's filmed.
Oh!
I don't like the way it looks.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, I just again, I feel like someone's cutting strings, and I'm like, you guys just, I don't know, get a better quality camera. Like, just make it look cinematic,
Stop
please.
making 400 Marvel things.
Well, I mean, there's also that. Like, I think that might be stretching the budget a little bit.
Let's be a little more selective.
A little bit more selective.
By the way, we have some comments that we've been neglecting to
Let's get
mention.
some comments.
Does
Our
anybody
good
hate
friend-
me? I've
Our good
had a
friend
lot of
Annie
hot-
Fox saying hi from me.
What's up, Annie?
What's
And then perhaps the best name that we've ever seen on here, Glitter and Duct Tape.
Love that.
The art on that looks awesome, referring to the Archie versus the World.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to read that.
Me
Glitter
too.
and duct tape. I feel like that's a reference to something I'm trying to remember. But shout out to both of you guys. Thank you very much for tuning into the show and hanging out with us. And we got to mention Kang. Kang makes an appearance in the Quantumania trailer as well. I just wanted to point
yeah.
that out. And he looks like Kang, which is cool.
All
so
right.
I'm into that. Real quick, I did want to say one thing that is exciting that's going on in the superhero movie realm, right? Is we were just talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn is apparently going to be co-fronting the DC studios.
I woke up this morning and saw that on my
Yeah.
phone, like from 4 different news sources, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, like he just apparently him and some other guy whose name I can't remember and I've never heard of.
Some random guy.
I'm sure he's really important, but yeah, it looks
Some
like James Gunn's
guy.
going to have creative control over the DC universe moving forward.
Peter Safran.
Peter Safran, there you go.
okay.
And Peter Safran is going to be handling the
Yes.
logistics, like the not so fun stuff, like I guess paying actors and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm way into this because I got to tell you, Suicide Squad, the other Suicide
The
Squad,
James Gunn
the
Suicide-
James Gunn
yeah.
Suicide Squad, probably one of the best superhero movies I've seen in a while.
Stop.
It's just a lot of fun, and it's weird. Like here's my thing. I will tell you this. I am consistent. Same reason I picked Lovesick.
Whoa, that picture caught me off guard. I didn't realize we were doing white hair.
Yeah, he's doing that now. But the same reason I pick Lovesick, same reason I pick anything in the comic realm. Suicide Squad was absurd.
Okay, yes.
It's bold.
Yeah.
And it's big, but it's not the cost of not it doesn't sacrifice having intimate moments with the characters by being big, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Which I
no,
think
it
Marvel's
does.
guilty of a lot of times. And that was thoroughly impressive to me. And it kind of looked like watching it, I was sort of like, this is like a Mark Miller comic or a Grant Morrison comic or a Peter Milligan comic. Like, it was just like that right level of what the hell? But also like that's pretty funny and that's pretty clever and like, oh, okay, I actually like these characters. It was like a nice mix of those things.
So you recommend it then?
I
Worth a
definitely
watch?
recommend it. It's definitely,
Okay.
if you haven't watched it, I would say
No, I haven't.
just watch it.
Because the first Suicide Squad left a bad taste
Oh
in my
yeah,
mouth.
that's totally understandable. Even the Harley Quinn stuff works really well.
Yeah, okay.
And that, that's definitely a hard sell for you and me.
Yes. I remember when you made me watch Birds of Prey.
Oh God, yeah, those are rough. It was during COVID, so like topics were kind of slow for a while there. But yeah, no, so I'm like, if he brings that sensibility to the DC EU or whatever the hell they're going to call it now,
DCU.
or whatever they want to call it, I'm all for that because yeah, that's what these movies have been lacking. I kind of feel it's like there's been a lot of. I'm going to get in so much trouble for this.
Do it. Let's get canceled.
Let's get canceled. There's going to be there's a lot of pretentiousness in some of those DC movies.
Yes.
Those earlier DC movies, the Zack Snyder stuff. Some of it's way too self-serious, and like, yeah, take it seriously, but also have fun with it. And I just didn't get a lot of that from the Zack Snyder stuff. Yeah, I'm into it. Also, they're not going to mess around with the Batman. So the Robert
True,
Pattinson
yes.
stuff still intact.
Good.
I guess they're still doing a Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I'm kind of like, whatever.
Oh yeah, they're doing a sequel or
Yeah,
a
I'm
prequel
like, I don't
or
really need that, but
something,
whatever.
I don't know.
But I mean, the first movie was good,
Yeah.
so I could be wrong, whatever. But yes, give me more of
Yeah.
that crazy Suicide Squad stuff.
Also,
with the-
apparently, Black Adam was fantastic.
Oh, that was the other thing. Yes, I wanted to bring that out. Apparently, people are all about. Rotten Tomatoes didn't like it, I guess, but
Yeah, but the audience did.
apparently the audience was way into
Yeah.
it, and it seems that apparently, like, yeah, The Rock is stepping in and kind of pulling in his friends. I know the headline's
Yeah,
hilarious.
okay.
The headline's hilarious because I've heard this said about him before, which is that The Rock is franchise Viagra.
That is, who came up with that? They need a raise.
I feel like that was The
that's
Rock who
great.
came up with that.
That is
No, he did. That was an actual bit that he said on Saturday Night Live when he hosted.
Yes, he did. That's right.
Good for him.
I mean, hey, Fast and the Furious. He's got a point.
You know what? I can't. I was about to be like, oh, that's Vin Diesel series, but Fast 5 is my favorite one in
Right.
the entire series.
And it is more of an ensemble, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the Vin Diesel show. So, yeah, apparently, I don't know. This might be an interesting, cool time to be a DC fan.
Yeah.
I know that I'm always stumping for Marvel, right? And I always talk crap in favor of Marvel.
Yes.
Right? But truth be told, I like comics, I like comic book characters, and if DC is getting the edge, getting competitive edge, I'm
Yeah,
fine with
do
that
it.
too. I'm more than happy to watch that stuff too. So anyway.
Speaking of DC, really quick, I wanted to mention this earlier and I
Mm-hmm.
forgot. My stupid brain didn't realize when I started reading Sandman that it was a DC book,
yeah, yeah.
and that even though it was published under Vertigo
Vertigo,
at the
yeah.
time, that it was still a DC book. And there's a moment in there where Sandman goes to ask the Fates like what happened to all of his tools, and he's talking about his Dream Ruby. And there's Batman.
Yeah.
Batman confiscated the Dream Ruby, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You know what? I can imagine from, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are in that scenario too. From the outside, if you're coming into this just for Sandman, I'm sure you're like, what the hell?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, duh! Like that makes perfect sense."
Right,
Like
yeah.
100%. I was like, "Yeah, obviously," but it didn't click until I saw it. And I was like, "Oh, I'm reading a DC comic. That's right."
I think that's absolutely hilarious. Actually, that's too funny. Yeah, I can imagine that being a little jarring. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let's give a shout out to Baltimore Comic Con real quick.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
That's
let's
something
do
that's
that.
happening
I'm
this
ready.
weekend. We are going to Baltimore Comic Con. Ashton and I will be there on Saturday, I believe, actually.
I'll be there Friday and Saturday.
Oh, Friday and Saturday. So she'll be there Friday. I'll be there Saturday. I'll be there Friday too, but I'm going to be getting some primo interviews that
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys about later. Yeah, Baltimore Comic Con is this weekend, October 28th through the 30th. I love that it's over the weekend of Halloween.
It's perfect,
Because I
right?
don't know about you, but Halloween tends to branch. Ever since my 20s, Halloween has become not just a day.
Oh yeah, it's just the whole month.
It's the whole weekend. It went from the whole weekend to the month.
Yeah,
So
yes.
yeah, I love that that's a perfect opportunity, and it seems perfect for an event where people cosplay and people show up in
Yeah,
costume. I
for
love
sure.
that. So yeah, come by the Diamond Previews World booth
Mm-hmm.
and come and say hi to Ashton and I. I'll be there with her on Saturday, and she'll be there all day on Friday. So
Sure.
there you go.
We'll be there.
All right, here's a trailer for Kamen Rider Zero from Titan Comics. Check this out. It's available to pre-order now, and when we come back, I'll tell you more about it.
Okay, hey Johnny.
Johnny broke the illusion. We're gonna fix the audio.
Everything's broken.
Everything's broken today. And, I'll be honest. We're doing Baltimore Comic Con this weekend, the Retailer Summit. This is a long week for us. So have mercy on us, internet. Have
I
mercy.
came running into this room at 2:00. We're supposed to start at 2:00.
So for once, I wasn't the reason we were
I
late.
know,
That was
wow.
great. I love it. Here we go. Here's the trailer.
I'm not sure what that's about, but it looked cool.
So okay, I'll give you some framing here. So this falls into the. I'm gonna try to say this very correctly.
You got it.
My friends are gonna roast me if I get this wrong. Takusatsu, which means
That sounded good.
Special effects genre.
Oh,
TV
cool.
shows,
Okay.
from Japan. And so when you're thinking about Godzilla, Power Rangers, Ultraman, that's what these are.
Oh, okay.
And so Kamen Rider is one of those things that just kind of has a huge following in Japan, a strong cult following here in America. I don't want to underplay that. And so Titan Comics is bringing those characters to the West. This isn't the first time that this has happened, right? Of course, but they're bringing it over to us, and it comes from Brandon Easton, who's done some really great stuff with Rocket and Icon over at DC. And I also got to point out, there's one of those variants that's a glow-in-the-dark cover, which I'm a fan of. I'm very much a fan of the glow-in-the-dark covers.
I want that.
Also, I got an interview with Brandon Easton that I think actually showed up in my email this past weekend. So we'll get to show you some more of Kamen Rider Zero, which is available pre-order now through Previous World Pull Box, or just go to your local comic shop and say, "You there? I want Kamen Rider Zero. That's what I want." All right. How about some asinine arguments?
Okay, yeah. I remembered what the question was.
Okay.
I had 2 and then 3 stupid questions rolling around in my brain, and I had to narrow it down. And so I picked the stupidest of all the stupid questions.
Thank God. Yes, I love it. All right, let's do it. Asinine arguments. Let's see which rabbit hole we go down. All right.
Okay, so I tried to pick something, moderately Halloween related. It's our Halloween episode and everything.
Right.
I don't know that this is that Halloween related, but it's ridiculous, so here it is. Would you rather be chased by 5 zombies or 1 werewolf?
Oh.
And no context on the pace of the zombies.
I mean, my immediate thought is, you know what? I got a fighting chance against 5 zombies. 1 werewolf, I'm screwed.
You think?
I think so. I mean, they are. Yeah, no. The werewolf can smell you.
Yeah, apparently they can climb trees.
They can climb. Yeah, they can climb trees.
I don't know why. I didn't think a wolf could climb trees, and I put this up, and then I was like, I would pick the 1 werewolf. I just need to get to a tree. And then I Googled it, and I was like, nope.
Nope.
Just like a bear.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess the thing I guess people miss about werewolves, right, is that they're not just wolves, humans that turn into a wolf.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a human-wolf hybrid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's kind of like they have the cheat code to kill you, no matter what the scenario is. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, they can climb trees. They can. I don't think I've ever seen a werewolf swim.
Oh,
That
you
could
could
be
jump in.
interesting.
Can you feed your friends and distract them? Is that a choice?
Wait, what?
Could you feed your friends, that whole thing that's like, you don't need to outrun a bear, you just need to outrun the slowest human. So can you betray your friends and beloved ones and feed them to the werewolves so you can get away?
I see, but that's my concern, right? So here's the thing, right? The zombies, right, are all going to kind of hoard around the 1 carcass and try to eat it, right?
Oh, they are easily distracted.
They're easily distracted. I feel. This is my own opinion on this, right? So, yeah, you can sacrifice a friend and still get away potentially,
They
right?
can swim, but they don't like to.
They don't like to. Okay, so they're like dogs, I guess. The werewolf doesn't even have to eat you. That's kind of the jacked up thing about werewolves is they're just hunting for sport after a while.
Yeah.
You know?
Would your answer change if I said it was World War Z zombies?
Maybe.
Because they're fast.
They are fast.
They're
and
speedy.
They're kind of terrifying how they kind of swarm together after a while. That's a little concerning, yeah. What would your answer be, Ashton?
I think, you know what, I'm going to be the person that I always hate, that I see a lot when I do these polls, and I do it on purpose. I would want to know what kind of zombie it is. If it was slow zombies, that's fine, yeah, fighting chance. If it's fast zombies, no. I'm not dealing with that. No. Give me the werewolf.
Give me the werewolf, okay. Yeah, I could, okay, yeah. There's something very disconcerting about a swarm.
Yeah.
of decomposing humans all trying to eat you at once.
Touching you. I don't want that.
Nah, I get that. I totally understand that. Johnny,
I decline.
you got to jump in here. What do you say?
I got to jump in?
Yep.
All right. So, when I first saw this question, the thing that I was thinking about was that the werewolf only comes out really at a full moon.
Okay. Yeah.
Zombies would be out all the time.
Johnny really thinks critically about these, and you and I are just like, I run away.
Right. You know, actually, it's very valid. That's actually completely, totally valid. Yeah. But I didn't even think of that. It was so stupid.
That's so smart.
Okay. All right. So you just kind of like going to play the odds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's respectable.
What if it's like, hey, have you seen Twilight?
Kind of, sort of.
What
Not
if it's
really.
like those werewolves where they can just like have a freak out and turn into a werewolf, and they're also like
Just certain chains.
12
right?
feet big,
Right.
and they're just enormous.
Well, I was gonna say, what if it's the Bloodstone, Johnny, and then you can turn the person into a werewolf at any given time. Then
Yeah,
you're just
that's
screwed.
true.
Oh, this reminded me of what was that stupid question Amber asked us about like a bear with a sword
Yeah. Right. It was like a bear with a sword or something. It
with
was
your
like,
bare hands. Was it a wolf with your bare
I think it was fight a
hands?
wolf with a sword or with your bare hands or something. I can't remember.
No, it was. Would you rather fight someone? It was someone with a sword. I think it was the bear. Fight a bear with a sword,
Mm-hmm.
or a wolf with your bare hands.
Okay, yeah, right. Which is actually kind of still a great question because I don't know. We went back and forth at that. I think that was that the beginning of asinine arguments?
Yes, it
I think it
was.
was. I think that's the origin story of asinine arguments. It started in the trifecta of cubicles between me and Ashton and Amber. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you say, Johnny? What are the kids saying here?
I'm leaving this up to you guys. We don't have any comments below. So.
One werewolf, please.
All right,
One werewolf? All
Let's
right.
see.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Wow. There's the fear of zombies. I think is disproportionate sometimes. I just don't find them that.
100%.
I just don't find them that scary.
Yeah.
Like,
What is this?
oh, what is this? What are you doing? Oh, okay. I guess.
Look at that sweet free comic book day beanie.
Okay, that's true. I actually like that beanie. That's a nice color.
I
actually.
want one. I want to get one.
Have we never done that color before, right?
No.
Okay, yeah,
It's a
I
new
actually like
design.
that. The new stuff, new swag that you can pick up from preesworld.com/catalog.
All right, here's the next question, and you got to pick one quick.
Uh-oh.
Would you rather be lost at midnight in a graveyard or spend the night at an abandoned asylum? This was the other one that I
Oh
did.
man, I got a story there.
Oh.
I do.
Oh no.
I actually do. I mean, long story short, me and my friends thought it'd be smart to go into an abandoned asylum in Bowie, and so we broke
Yum.
into it. I was like 19, 20, something like that.
Okay.
And so we broke into it, and basically traipsed around, which is incredibly dangerous, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
Like, not even for necessarily anything you can encounter, but just like it's been sitting there for like decades,
Right.
like unsupervised, it hasn't been taken care of at all. You could have fell through a floor, and that'd have been the end of you.
Right.
So, but yes, even still, despite that answer, I'd say the asylum.
You would rather be in an
Oh, I'm sorry. I
asylum?
would say I would rather be in the graveyard. I'm sorry. I've actually
Yeah.
thought about. I know they do the Edgar Allan Poe tours around here.
Yeah.
And I know they go to his graveyard and take you there in the middle of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
I actually want to do that. I think that's kind of
That
cool.
sounds awesome. I'd do that.
What about you?
I would say graveyard for the sole reason of everything in the graveyard's dead. And anybody that's haunting something is not going to be haunting a graveyard. They're going to be haunting
That's
wherever
right,
it
yeah.
was they
That's
die,
true.
which is probably the asylum. The asylum.
Right. That's true. No one haunts the graveyard. They just kind of like, all right, peace. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, that's a fair point. Actually, that's actually pretty hilarious. Johnny, you want to chime in on this one?
Yeah.
What do you got?
So, look at this. So it depends on if there's anything sketchy going down. So if you're in a graveyard, everything's out in the open, so there's less places for you to hide. If you're in an insane asylum that's abandoned or whatever, there's more nooks and crannies where you could actually hide if some maniac was chasing you. So it depends on what the circumstances are.
That's
On
valid.
why you'd
You
be
know
hiding.
what else is really unsettling about being in a graveyard is it all looks the same at a certain point.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
So it's easy to
You
get turned around.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
a good point. That's actually a good point too. Yeah. No, actually, having been to grave sites before, and just driving through to find the person or whatever, you get lost.
It's
It just happens.
impossible.
It totally happens. So, you know what? Okay. All right. I like that one. That was actually a good one. Is that the one you're holstering for? next week, or no? You said you weren't going to save it. You were just going to give it to him.
Yeah. Oh, I have a third one that I want to ask you that will be on the Free Comic Book Day TikTok later.
That's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
If you're interested in Troy's opinion on Satan.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right. What is this week's comic shop shout out?
I don't know because it wasn't updated on the outline.
No. It's a long week, guys.
This week's comic shop shout out goes to the One Stop Shop Comics and Gaming in Clinton, Massachusetts. Sent in by Nathan Sponenberg.
All right, Clinton, Mass.
You got the rest of the spiel, Johnny?
Nope.
Okay.
He's good, but he's not that good.
All right, well, we'll show you some images inside of that comic shop at the end of the show during the credits roll so you can check out that store. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name, and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We'll find your local comic book shop, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
All right, and I just want to remind you guys to like, share, and subscribe to Previews World or Free Comic Book Day, or you can do both.
Both sounds good.
There you go.
Both,
I just
please.
burped. Sorry. Follow us online.
We're fun and quirky.
Right, we're fun and quirky, exactly. Yeah, you can hang out with Ashton at Free Comic Book Day, and that's pretty much TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You are on all the social media.
That's facts.
Previews World
Yeah.
is not on TikTok.
We kind of share the TikTok,
We kind
though.
of share the TikTok, though, so you'll see my face, too, at some point. That just happens. And also, like you mentioned, follow TikTok so you can get the this week's question. You know, Asinine Arguments extends beyond the show. It also goes to the TikTok page.
Got to do something with all this weird stuff I think of.
There you go.
It's got to go somewhere.
You know what? Hey, that's why I make comics. So I totally understand what you mean. On the site this week, you know what, Johnny? I don't have... Oh, wait, I do have it in front of me. Never mind. I take it back. Yes. Previews catalog. I've reminded you of this a couple of times. There you
Nice.
go.
Look at that beanie.
Johnny, you just want to scroll through real quick so people get an idea of just how deep this is. Now, each of those little sections is you can view more. So Johnny's scrolling through this real quick for
Right.
us. Like, we're getting you all of the image section. And look how much stuff is at the image
Oh my
section.
God. I saw
crap,
8
there's a
billion
new
beanies.
Genesis? Sorry,
This is just image, and I believe everything
Yeah.
is alphabetized.
yeah.
And I'm still scrolling.
And you're just an F. Nice. There's a Ghost Cage trade paperback, which I actually might pick up. And there's Johnny's favorite.
Oh, Fairland's already back?
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, this is for pre-order.
Right.
Okay.
The new issue hasn't dropped yet, but it will soon. Actually, it'll drop next month, if I'm doing the math correctly. But yeah, comics, toys, apparel, everything is in here. And sometimes the DC stuff is a little late to show up on the page. I will point that
Yeah.
out because I know people take issues with that. But it does show up here eventually.
Promise.
We promise. Also, shout out to the DST's really been killing it. I do want to point this out. That Ahsoka looks really great. They got a Blade action figure, which I think is going to be a comic shop exclusive.
She looks good.
Yeah, like these are really fun. And then oh wow, look at all this Scotty Young stuff as well.
Oh, Johnny.
Love that.
I
Like,
need this for
literally-
Christmas.
Literally heard Johnny go, oh.
Darn it, April.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. Like I said earlier, sometimes the toys
Yeah.
take a little bit longer for sculpting and design and shipment reasons, but they are coming.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that Benedict Cumberbatch is impressive. So yeah, previews.com/catalog, updated every single month. And truthfully, you could waste the entire month, and I won't say not waste, but you could definitely waste the entire month just looking at that section of the website.
Yeah, for real.
For sure. Online comics at Halloween Comic Fest. You want to remind people about this?
Yes, we got digital comics available totally for free at HalloweenComicFest.com. You can download them to your phone, tablet, computer, whatever, and read them. Our last set just went up yesterday. We've been doing this all month long and picked out some of the best horror comics that we've had as part of Halloween Comic Fest over the years. A walk through hell, which you guys did on the panel last
Yes, we
year,
did, right? Yep.
A lot of cool Archie stuff. I have to be honest, like I was a little biased because I was the one that picked them, so I picked 3 Archie titles. But I love the Archie horror line.
This stuff's great, yeah. We actually did an episode about Archie horror.
We did.
Yeah, we did the panel. So yeah, awesome. Actually, I do want to remind people. Actually, well, if you've been following our social media, you already saw reminders. We haven't said this on the show yet. The panel.
The panel.
It's actually returning on Monday, October 31st. And the first book that we're going to talk about, right, is definitely going to be a Halloween themed one. I'm thinking from now on, the first episode of the panel is going to be the Halloween episode.
That makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah, I think that really works for us.
Yeah.
Because we definitely did Archie horror last year. I think it was last year.
Yeah, we did Jughead the Hunger and Vampironica.
And Vampironica. So yeah, we're doing Something is Killing the Children. If you've been
Perfect.
following comics at all, you have been hearing about this book nonstop if you're not reading it already. We are new to this series.
Yeah.
And so Anamia and Cannon Doll X are going to be joined by 2 people from Boom Studios. We're going to give some insight into the book itself, but also we're just going to talk about the book, the first volume of the series as well. So if you've already read Something is Killing the Children, just watch and play along. And if you've always been curious about it, but you didn't quite know what to what to think or how just how to get into it, we're gonna give you a little crash course on the book as well. So check that out. The panel, October 31st. At what time, Johnny?
3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. Eastern. So definitely tune in because Cannon Doll X and Anime are going to be hanging out and talking about this spooky, scary series just in time for Halloween. So it's perfect.
Shivers down your spine.
In my head I heard. Did you ever watch 30 Rock?
No.
In my head I heard Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. Which is this? It's a song on 30 Rock. It is just like this really dumb song that I think Kenneth sings, but it's hilarious. Anyway, that's it for Previews World Weekly.
Woo!
Whoa.
Has it been a weird episode?
This has been a weird episode. We've been all over the place. We got, what do we get? We got sex workers on the run. We've got Archie meets Mad Max, right? We talked about getting killed by werewolves and whether werewolves can swim. This has been a very bizarre episode.
As promised, as advertised.
As advertised. And you know what? I love those. Those are my favorite ones.
Oh, mine too.
So that's it for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood.
And we'll see all of you at the Spinner Rack. Happy Halloween, guys.
Be sure to pick up a copy of this month's previews catalog to see all the amazing pop culture goodies that you can pre-order at your friendly local comic shop.